Well, hello, dear ones. I'm Jonathan McCleary. I'm the pastor at Bay United Methodist Church, and I welcome you to this midweek meditation. At Bay United Methodist Church, we are in the midst of a campaign that emphasizes the fact that we are all created by God in the image of God. God used himself as the model to fashion our souls. But while it's true that God sees a little of himself in each of us, we also try to return the favor and see God as somewhat like us. Anthropomorphism is the word of the day. It's the act of giving human attributes to something not human. For instance, if your computer is malfunctioning, you may claim it's out to get you, or acting difficult, or being lazy. You might hurl various threats at it to get it to work properly. And while humans might be difficult, lazy, or out to get you, though a human might respond to whatever threats you make, a computer is unable to do any of these things. And yet we treat these machines as if they were people and imbue them with human traits. That's anthropomorphism. And although we should know better, God is not immune to our anthropomorphisms. One of the human characteristics we misapply to God is our sense of fatigue. We think, look at all the things God has to handle, running the world as he does. So many problems to take care of, so many prayers to answer. How overwhelming it must be for God to have all these things on his plate. Now, while you and I often feel fatigued or overwhelmed, this is not at all true of God. It's a human trait we misapply to God. And unfortunately, it warps our understanding of who God is, and it can even affect your prayer life. A woman once told me that she wasn't going to ask God for anything until she had a really big need. Why? Because she didn't want to wear out God's patience by asking for help in smaller things. She would wait until a big need came along so God would feel more obliged to help, having not worn him out on smaller requests. But God is not at all overwhelmed by the small stuff. He delights in the details of what he has made. He sees every sparrow that falls. He clothes the flowers of the field, though they may be burned tomorrow. He feeds the birds, though they neither plant nor reap. He has numbered every hair on your head. How can God keep track of all these little things as well as everything else? Well, because he's God, after all. Dear friends, God is not overwhelmed by the small stuff, nor by the big stuff for that matter. He does not grow weary of handling every issue that comes before him, big or small. Fatigue is a human trait. You don't have to worry about God getting tired. Psalm 121 verses 3 and 4 say, "He who watches over you will not slumber. Indeed, he who watches over Israel will neither slumber nor sleep." If God is so obsessed with you that he would number the hairs of your head, don't you think he would care about every problem you face, no matter how big or small? Don't you realize that every issue that comes before you, even the ones you think you can handle yourself, are of prime interest to God, and thus an opportunity for prayer? No need is too big. No need is too small. God is keenly aware of them all, and delights in working for your good in all things, regardless of size, without fatigue or flagging patience. Yes, God is big enough to handle all your problems, and everybody else's too, for that matter. Such is the majesty of our God. Such is the depth of his love for us all. You won't tire God out with your requests. He is much too able to be overwhelmed by anything you ask, though I hope you add some praise and gratitude to your prayers as well. Don't be shy about bringing any little thing to God's attention. Any excuse to commune with you, even a small issue, is enough to warm his heart. And I hope such love warms your heart as well. Thank you for joining me today. God bless you all, and we will see you soon.